Hello everyone and welcome to another vlog, this time around straight out of the future with the new Oakley glasses actually. Please let me know what you think about them. But this video will be a summary of Ironman Aix-en-Provence 70.3, which was last week. So as you can see, I have the pure evidence. I won the race again, so stoked with that. But now we will go a little bit more into the details of the race. But first, I have to put the finisher banner up where it belongs, straight or right next to the finisher banner from Texas. It's quite large compared to the one from Texas, almost twice the size. But anyway, promo. Okay, so yeah, going through the race. So the main reason why we went to Aix-en-Provence in the first place was basically because it's French roads. It's a pretty nice bike course, a little bit of climbing, a little bit of descending, which would just give us like a little sort of test and sort of get like an idea of how we would be performing in a similar course to what we will face in the World Championship in Nice this summer. So it's not completely the same, but yeah, I guess it was the race that was looking the most similar to the World Championship course. So it was 1.9k lake swim, 19 or 18 degrees I think, so wetsuit swim. And the nice thing in France and in Europe at this time of the year is that the sun is getting up way before the start time. So it was very clear, bright in the morning, and very easy to see, and also very easy to wake up because it just comes a little bit more naturally when the sun is out. And once again felt pretty good and ready to go in the morning. Did the same protocol as I did going into Texas with both like double Plasmaide in the morning before the race, about like 90 minutes before the start, and also getting high on the caffeine in the morning, threw some Red Bulls down, and yeah, felt like quite good to go already on the warm-up. And poof, the gun went off, and yeah, with once again a big field on the swim. Felt a little bit like that I didn't swim too well for the first half of the swim, and I felt I was almost a bit scared of ending up in a second pack. But then luckily on the way back home again from the turning point back to the exit for the last 900 meters, I felt that the group was coming a little bit more together again. And when I was like sighting up front and trying to see where the first guys were as we were bending around the buoys, I felt that I wasn't too far behind. As yeah, I was a little bit worried I would be even further behind, but it seems like I had okay control on where I was in the field, and felt like relatively okay for the last 900 meters on the swim, and got out of the water like 12 seconds behind the leader in maybe 15th, 20th position. And yeah, ran through transition, lost a little bit of time there as we were a big group coming out of the swim, and it was a little bit like chaotic around the T1 bag, because we both had to take off the wetsuit, we had to take out the helmet and put on the bib number, but also put it all back in again and hang the plastic bag up on the rack. And it was quite a tight, narrow space for 15 to 20 guys to get through. So it was a little bit like you want to do everything right without really like colliding with anyone else. So lost maybe 20-25 seconds behind the trio, including Jonas Schomburg and Sam Dickinson. Yeah, was doing what I had to do in order to bridge up to them. So it took me maybe 10 minutes where I was riding just under 400 watts. Yeah, so the group was settling into a rhythm there before Ruben, the guy who won the year before by riding quite aggressively on the bike course. I think he got like 4 minutes on the group last year. He was then after 30k like bridging away, and or I'm not sure if he was bridging away, but like it opened up a gap between him and the guy in the second place, and I was then in a third position, and I thought that yeah, I'm sort of comfortable by letting him get away, and for the next couple of Ks we sort of saw him in. It was sort of close enough that we could see him, but then I think it was really opening up the gap in the first downhill. From there on, it was at one point I thought that we might have been able to separate from the rest of the guys, because I thought we were like maybe 5 or 6 guys that were sort of getting away from the group. But then on the flat section after the downhill again, the group sort of came together again, and suddenly we were maybe 15 or 20 guys back together, and all I was doing was just counting down to both the 50k mark, because there was a little bit bigger downhill. So I just wanted to be in a good position in that section, just because in case the field would stretch out. So I was focusing there on always be like in a good position in that group and being near the front. And I was pleased with how I was able to ride the downhill. Felt quite comfortable on my new Cadex bike. It was the same position as I've been riding in the past, but just epic new color. So the white colorway, I just loved it. And I was also counting down towards the 67k point, because there we had about a 10 minutes long climb, and I was sort of expecting people to really put the hammer down in that climb before the final descending down to Aix-en-Provence. So I was opening up the first few minutes before Simon Vian was catching or like passing me maybe halfway up that hill or the climb. And yeah, a French guy I've been racing against a lot in the past. We raced on the same team back in 2013 in Valence, so I was quite aware of his skills of riding in both like typically French races with hilly bike courses, and also his skills of being able to run off the bike with tired legs, as we have both been in that second or third pack in the short distance races, and having to work quite hard and then still having to run with tired legs. So I was aware that he could certainly be a threat for the win. And prior to that, I thought that Sam Dixon and Pierre Lecoq would be the strongest competitors in that race, but then suddenly he popped up to my mind. And yeah, it seems like basically the whole group except Pierre was in that front group on the top of that final climb, and we were all sort of riding together in the last 15k, and it wasn't a massive separation alongside the first 10-15 guys. We only had 2 minutes up to Ruben, who I expected to be a little bit slower on the run, so I thought that 2 minutes was quite comfortable to let him get away with. And yeah, went through T2. I felt that Sam was really running fast in transition, and it was a little bit like coating against, as it was quite tight space in terms of where we had the T2 run bags and had to like take off the helmet and put on the shoes and socks and everything, but managed to get out of transition and sort of near the front, and straight away just thought that I'm gonna try to follow Simon YN for the first lap or so and see how that pace were feeling like. Yeah, it felt super comfortable, like I felt well within myself, and yeah, I really enjoyed both the course and also the atmosphere along like the spectators were creating a great atmosphere, and also I was enjoying my own stride. Like I felt like I was running well within myself and just counting down to that final 5 or 6k. That was like always in my mind that on that final lap I'm gonna make it a big push. And yeah, for the first couple of Ks it was just myself and Simon, and then suddenly Jonas Schomburg came up. He was like putting in a massive surge in a downhill. So when he came up, he was breathing quite heavily, and he went then past me into second position, while I was then sort of, at that point I was actually fourth on course, but like third in that group. And then in that next uphill after that, Jonas got dropped again, and it was back to me and Simon. And then we run like that for another lap, like about 7Ks, before suddenly Casper came back. Apparently he's been like sort of chasing us down for the last 10 or 11Ks, as he had like a little bit weaker transition than the two of us. So he was like chasing us down and taking a few seconds here and there. And suddenly after 11 or 12K, halfway through on the run, he was back into the mix. At that point we also had passed Ruben. I think we passed him on the first lap. So then I was just counting down towards the final lap. And as he came up, I also told Casper in Norwegian that with about 5 to 6K to go, I'm gonna put down the hammer and ramp up the pace. So I felt as well, as we were getting by the end of that second lap, that he was a little bit more aware that he needed to be on the alert, and was like a little bit closer to me, just to be ready for the surge when it was coming. Felt that when I was then putting the hammer down, that the legs was feeling great, the lungs was feeling good, and I felt like I could just push on without feeling the lactate. And quite early on, maybe a minute in to my surge, I managed to open up the gap to both Casper and to Simon, and from there on it was more like about enjoying the rest of the run. And yeah, quite stoked to take another win and 2,500 points now in the Ironman Pro Series, which puts me in a great position for the rest of the year, as I'm now leading the Ironman Pro Series, which is nice. But the most important thing is that I'm having full scores from Texas and full scores from Aix-en-Provence. So the points I'm having from Oceanside will hopefully be swapped out with a great performance in Marbella. I was actually feeling really good both after Texas and Aix-en-Provence, and I think one thing is like the training is going in, like I'm feeling I'm absorbing the training and the races I'm doing. But I think that also comes down to a little bit the fact that I'm both using like Plasmaide before the race and after the race. So typically I take like 2 sachets in the morning before the race to get like the benefits in terms of the lungs and the oxygen uptake, but also I feel it's speeding up my recovery, and I'm feeling less stiff the day after when I'm using it. So as well as I do it in the evening after the race, and also when I'm flying back home, I feel that I'm easier able to get straight into training again when I'm getting back home. And as well as I'm getting older, I need to fight against the aging, and one of the things I've been feeling as I'm making it well into the 30s is that I'm getting more and more stiff, especially in the shoulders and also like the muscles. So been prioritizing more mobility works, and that's also why I've been partnering up with GoWood, which is like an app that both gives me exercises that I'm doing both for daily workouts, activation before the sessions, and recovery. So some sessions I'm doing after the races or training I'm doing, also mid traveling, just to stay flexible and speeding up the recovery. And what's the nice thing with it is that it's not just some random exercises that the app is giving me, but it's based on like the mobility test that I'm doing. So it sort of knows my weaknesses, my strength. As an example, I'm testing out how flexible I am in my hamstring by doing some exercises, how flexible I am in the rotation, and also it knows that my primary sport is triathlon. So it's based on the testing I'm doing. It knows that what sort of exercises I need to be better at, and based on that, it's also giving me a selection of different exercises that I'm doing, whether it's 8 minutes, 11 minutes, or the 22 minutes session. So yeah, been spending more time on really prioritizing mobility work. Next now is training towards Ironman Frankfurt, the Minova European Championship, which I won last year, which I want to win again this year, and that's going to be an epic race. First time again racing Magnus Ditlev on the bike, which will be tough, but we will try to get ready for it. And also, as you can see, it's beautiful weather in Bergen now, so we will stay in Bergen now, and finger crossed that the weather will be likewise for the next 4 weeks. So doing the preparation here at home and having a little bit of time to just enjoy both the training and building up again for Frankfurt.